just joined in, this is Good Morning Abuja coming to you from the Unity Station, NTA Channel 5 Abuja. If you just joined in, you've not really missed because I'm on to my second conversation. And we have with us here the Assistant Director, SON FCT Coordinator in person of Gamagira Isiaku Mohammed. And together we'll be talking about the application of IT in controlling the standards of good in Nigeria. You're welcome to Good Morning Abuja, sir.
You're welcome to the program.
Yeah.
Nice having you here, sir.
Okay, so looking at IT, how can technology improve Nigeria's economy?
Thank you very much. The world has now become a global village.
Yes.
Because everything now has to do with information technology.
Exactly.
And from the name, Standards Organization of Nigeria, our vision is about standardization and quality assurance.
Quality, very important.
So we cannot be left behind. The issue of IT is what's really happening now. And the organization has a department with a director that's in charge of information communication technology, ICT. And the organization has taken as a policy in trying to, even before, because when it comes to standardization and quality assurance, the son is in line with our act, is in charge in Nigeria. So our processes, the management has been taking also to even digitize our own processes. We're trying to go in whatever we're trying to do, even in our day-to-day activities in the office. We are upgrading to become in fact strictly e-compliant.
Wow.
So and in doing that, there are certain policies that are in place, in the area of, in the first place, standardization is our core mandate. Writing of standards, a kind of collaborative process. Because when we say standard, now it involves product, services, and any other thing that needs to go, as it's supposed to be. Standardization, is our own way of life.
Thank you very much, sir, for responding to that question. Talking about standards and quality, how has the implementation of IT system enhanced the monitoring and enforcement of quality standards for goods and services in Nigeria?
Okay, thank you very much. In the preamble, I was telling you, trying to now go into E as in our own processes. And in order to ensure that product satisfy the minimum Nigerian industrial standard, there are policies that are in place. Number one, when we're talking of the locally manufactured products, SON has one policy called Mandatory Conformity Assessment Program, which is called MANCAP.
How does that work?
Yes, and I'm just trying to, then I'll come to your question.
Right.
And when you are exporting, exporting products that are imported into Nigeria are exported abroad, and some is not there. So the organization, in its own wisdom, now decided to engage some international accredited firms that are now having an MOU in terms of ensuring that any product that comes into Nigeria get a certification, which is called Standard Organization of Nigeria Conformity Assessment Program. So these two policies are just to ensure that products locally manufactured or imported satisfy the minimum requirement of the Nigerian nutrition standard. And when the product satisfies the requirement of the standard, when the product satisfies its own standard, that means it's good for use, it's safe for the environment, and anybody that patronizes that kind of product is getting value for its own money. So in order to ensure, Nigeria is a very vast country.
Exactly.
And I wouldn't want to say, but people try to be Naira-wise spam police.
Exactly. I was thinking.
Naira-wise spam police is that, for me to buy a quality product,
you go for cheap one.
20 Naira. I'd rather buy the one that is 10
and
Naira,
not
and
certified.
I will buy it over and over again. Maybe at the end of the day, the quality one will last you 5, 10 years, while this one, maybe you have bought it 5, 6, 7 times. At the end of the day, when you put it together, it's much more than the... So the organization now felt that since there are people who are into being a little bit unscrupulous, sorry to say this, now go behind us, do all sort of shady deals, counterfeiting, faking, and all whatnot. So the organization has now stepped up. That's what I'm trying to tell you, where technology has really come in. This one now is an interface between Sun and customers out there. We have a program now called Product Authentication Mark.
Wow.
That Product Authentication Mark is a policy of the organization which has recently been launched, where each product, the smaller components of it in a carton, each of that piece of that product will carry that mark on it. And it is done in such a way that you scratch it, and now using your phone, either whatever desktop you are using, as soon as you see that on it, scratch it, and now send it to a short code, then you get a feedback. Already that system is in place, and once you get the feedback, it will tell you whether that product is quality. So, but by the time you're scratching it now, it's until you've paid it, because there are times where you have where the something is covered though, but because just as I said, we have unscrupulous human beings that will actually go and make that thing, but it's actually fake. So by the time you want to confirm if this one now is authentic, you must have paid for it and less. So at the point where you scratch, you say it's no longer. No, by the time you buy it and the feedback you got is that it's contrary. So you can now report to who now? If they refuse to now, you can escalate it. Okay. And in all our state offices, now let me talk of FCT particularly. We have a customer feedback, customer complaint and feedback unit, where we address such type of issues. Once we have a product that is not performing, and it's a regulated product, and which has to be, because any product that is produced, is it food item? I was going to even mention, like for water now, I'm sure they don't have especially water. They like maybe the first batch that they took to SON or something is the one that went through all the processes. Then the other ones, the ones that will now be produced no longer goes for verification, and then they use that same number. That's why we have what's called market surveillance. Okay. It's not just giving you the certificate or markup certification, because markup is the process of certification. It's not about just giving you certification, but we monitor it. Beyond now going into your facility and take sample, we do a market surveillance. Market surveillance is the sense that I'll deploy my staff to just go and get the product. Go and get me this product. Then we'll now buy it independently from the market. Maybe one will do a sampling in the market, and one will just buy it, put it together, and take it to the lab. And confirm it's still the same, whether you are also complying. Because if you discover that what you saw in the market and trace it to find out it's source, because anything you buy and you want someone to get involved, ensure it is restricted. Because that's the only way we can link it up from the source. So once we discover that it is from your factory that you hold that product and it's failing, that means you are now doing it otherwise after you give the certificate. And the sanction is that that certificate can be withdrawn and we can blacklist you. Wow. We can let the world know that this is what you are doing. You understand? So there are a lot of checks and balances.
So part of what you are doing here is creating awareness and making people know on what to do about standards and quality. Before we leave here completely, you mentioned about product authentication mark. Something happened. I got to a shop where I went to get a drug. Yes, I saw the mark. I scratched it. I texted the short code, but to get the response was forever. And when the response came eventually, you have to try back, and we are talking about ICT, and this is drug, and somebody needs to take that drug immediately.
Yeah, I quite agree.
Yes.
This is collaborative. We are standard body.
Okay.
You understand? We do our own, and in collaboration, you can see now I'm in NTA premises, talking to the public. That's how we collaborate. When it comes to the issue of network and service providers, it's something that we must make effort to ensure that people are getting the required service. Because, for you to send out that short code, you must go through a certain network provider. And the feedback also comes because it is a kind of we have we are the content providers, and they are the ones that will facilitate us, facilitate public getting, it right at the right time.
Yes.
It's just like about trying to make a phone call. Sometimes you see that you try a number, the person is within a network area, but you find it very difficult to get. So that is something that we as agency of government have to sit down and see how we can also put together a system that can enhance that kind of service.
Yes.
Okay. So far, have there been challenges? What have been the challenges?
Yeah, as I've said, the management of SON now, under the leadership of Dr. Ifeanyi Chukwuemeka KK,
Okay.
has put it in place. In fact, there are certain priorities, in the areas of development of standard, and strengthening, even regional interaction and the rest of it, because we're not talking of AFCT, that is African Regional Continental Trade. So and even businesses, for some, what we do, is to ensure that businesses thrive. We are business facilitators. We don't just, we talk about enforcement, but we ensure that businesses in Nigeria are thriving. So, as much as also the priority of the NEDG is to ensure that they encourage businesses locally and even globally.
Yeah.
You understand? And he is asking for IT. He also wants to leverage on technology, because technology is the game thing. Whatever you do now is on your own palm.
Yes.
On your own palm.
Exactly. On the go.
So, and the issue of capacity building, the issue of getting ICT compliant, through the ICT department, is trying to ensure that people are compliant with how to make use of computers and whatnot. So there are challenges in the sense that the need to solve this challenge somebody is what, as long as this invitation has decided to run. Nigerians, once ever there is a policy on government, you can see us trying to go the other way around. The systems are there. Some of them has offices in all the states of Nigeria. We have in some states like Lagos, we have 3 state offices.
Okay.
So people don't want
all of the FCT.
Including FCT, we have only one.
Okay.
But in Nigeria, because of the vast landmass, we have one in Suleja, we have one in Mina. Nasarawa, we have one here in Mararaba, we have one in Lafia.
Okay. So as an individual now, I can go on my own to complain just in case.
If you want to, you have if you go to our portal, Google Sun, as National State Office, the contact, the name of the state coordinator, whatever they do, you'll be guided.
To lay your complaint or anything.
So it is there.
Okay.
You understand? So in the area of IT, actually, Sun is really so advanced in that area, and we are improving.
Okay.
As I've said, the government of Dr. KK is there, and this new hope policy of the new government. In fact, we are trying to see that Nigerians get value
for their money.
And everything.
That's a good one.
Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful.
Good to know that Nigerians are actually in safe hands with SON.
Just get across to us.
Okay.
Right now, I'm rushing back. I have a meeting to confirm complaint issue.
Wow.
And I'm trying to go to the office and address
them. Okay. Thank you very much.
So let's release you to go. Thank you so much for coming on our program this morning. All right.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we have been talking about the application of IT in controlling the standards of goods in Nigeria. And the Assistant Director, Standards of Nigeria FCT Coordinator has done justice. He has told us a lot. So with SON, we are all in a safe hands. You can Google online, any information you want, you can complain, anything, forward it there. Because like you said, technology is right in our palms. You can make do with anything we want to do via technology. Thank you once again for coming on the program, sir.